Hello, welcome to the queue. We got the UK France turn 15, Operation Champ. We've got a couple things to correct, and one is these $2, and we'll go over here and take a peek. This territory here, this Fiji Marine was built in Fiji, which is a British roundel, so my assumption was it was British. Even though in the colonial expansion, back when it was built, months ago, it's supposed to be FEC. So I kind of think that maybe it's wrong on the expansion, but either way, we don't know. So we're going to give this to Anzac instead of Britain. So I didn't bring my roundel, but I'll bring it back next. So that means that this $2 here comes off of Britain and goes over to Anzac, in which Japan convoy rated one of them. So we'll take $1 away, as that's the one I'm going to use. This $1 goes away as it was convoy rated. So up here on the chart, Britain will go down as I drop it to 23, and Commonwealth will go, or Anzac will go up to 11. They were at 12, but they lost one on the Japanese turn. The other thing is Japan was unsure if the U.S. had convoyed them because it was on the previous turn, and they did. I think the Super Sub got it on one roll, so they took 5 away. So Japan will have to adjust its buy by -5. And Russia failed on their convoying, so that catches us up there. So let's look at our purchases. We have here for Britain, what is that, $34. We've got 3. We're bringing this light cruiser off the production chart. We got 2 destroyers for 6 each, and with the improved construction, we can build that air base in one turn as opposed to at a discount. So that's 6 more there. So that is 18, 21. We've got 1 militia, 1 militia upgrade in South Africa, a Marine, and in London, another paratrooper. FEC, they failed to convoy them, so they've got $4. So we're going to build 1 colonial infantry because we have a territory with 1 value. Anzac, they had 17 plus the 2, 19 minus 1 for convoying, 18. So I think they're spending 17 here. A infantry upgrade, 3 militia, so that's 8, and then 12 would be, 4 more would be the anti-aircraft gun for 12, and a submarine for 5, leaving 1. And let's go over here to Canada. They're going to lend-lease a fighter, so we'll put it over here in the lend-lease box, to France. And then France, they are going to build, and I don't have any air transports for France, so I'm going to use this biplane on a white chip. We'll build that in Canada for 1 less, so that'll be 7. And the remainder will be 3 for that cavalry of their 10. So, let's get on to some combat. So, because we're going to convoy, or not go on to escort duty, we're going to move. Let's clear out this sea zone here first, because we are going to attack Greece. So let's grab what we can do here. So we've got 2 transports in Sea Zone 79 at a naval base. 1, 2, 3, and they'll be in Sea Zone 52. And I've revived my task force marker, so I'll put it down here on that. Those 2 transports will be bringing these 2 Marines and these 2 Greek mountain infantry that retreated earlier in the game. And they will attack here in Thessaly.
I know.
All right, so that's that one. We've got this Canadian Marine, and it is just 1 because I don't have any Canadian Marines painted up. So that is 1 there, and 1 Canadian infantry on this 3rd transport, going the same route. we are going to hit this southern island, which is what? Peloponnese. So going in there, and I'll put them on this side, will be those two. It keeps falling off that chip. And we're going to put that transport on the card here as or the task marker as well. All right, so we've got a bunch of ships for bombards. So we've got 2 battleships coming in that will bombard here. And they will all be on this Sea Zone 52, and after the bombards, I'll put them on this task force marker. All right, a battleship and a battle cruiser bombarding in Thessaly. What else do we got here? We got 2 medium cruisers. We'll throw 1 on each. And I think the last item that can bombard is this light cruiser. And we'll throw that up there because that's more of an important battle. All right, so we've got this Canadian fighter coming off this carrier. 1, 2, 3, 4 with a movement of 2 left. We have this tactical bomber coming off of a carrier, going 1, 2, 3 into Thessaly with a movement of 2 left. We have this fighter here at an air base, 1, 2, 3, 4 with a movement of left. And he's attacking this mountain infantry in Macedonia. And on the German turn, he moves that infantry from Yugoslavia all the way to Thessaly, but there's a territory there, so the assumption is he's walking there. So we'll attack him there as opposed to Thessaly. What else is going into Thessaly? Well, I'm glad you asked. We've got 2 strategic bombers, and they will be bringing paratroopers. So they will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they will each have 2 left, as they have 9 movement with the air base and long-range aircraft. So the first paratrooper will bring this Devil's Brigade. There goes my battery. It's low again. Devil's Brigade, who will go into Macedonia. He does not count towards the transportation limits, so we'll also bring that paratrooper. All right, so the second strategic bomber will bring the other paratrooper. All right, what else do we got? I got another dice here. Oh, we've got this fighter from Eastern Egypt. 1, 2, 3, and it'll have a movement of 2. So those units are going into Peloponnese. These units are going into Thessaly. Those units are going into Macedonia. And we might as well, to keep things clear, we're going to move these units out of this Sea Zone here, which is 79. And they will all go into Sea Zone 52, so I'll put them all in that card. And what I am moving is 2 light carriers, 2 torpedo boat destroyers, 1 sub, 1 corvette, and 2 destroyers. And then they'll be joined by those battleships once they do, or these bombarding ships as they do their move there. All right, so, and ironically, that is that Greece torpedo boat destroyer, I think, coming back to Greece. All right, so, not that this is going to be a combat because I don't think Italy is going to declare war, but they are coming down here to go on escort duty. 2 destroyers. How about I had it in the camera view? 2 destroyers and another... oh, wait a minute, I need to leave that up there, that Corvette. I need to leave the Corvette up there. All right, so 2 would be 3 destroyers, a light cruiser, and the light carrier, all coming down here to go on escort duty. And we've got this Canadian fighter over here on 2, 3, 4, and he'll land there. And we've got these 2 medium bombers as I reach across the table. Oh, they come off the magnet. All right, the flight stand was weak. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and land in Gibraltar. So in Gibraltar, those 2 land there. All right, so hopefully that was clear as mud. That U.S. ship is still there. We're gonna leave up these guys up here. I'm leaving the Corvettes up here because it's a +1 to each one of these convoy lines if there's 2 Corvettes on it. Well, they're sitting in that sea zone, which covers both those convoy lines, so I get that +1. All right, so these are non-combat moves over there. It just occurred to me that I forgot to roll my tech. So let's finish the combat moves and then we'll roll the tech. All right, the last combat move. We've got a carrier here all alone in sea zone 123. So we've got the Anzac and British sub coming in along with the British fighter. And we will attempt to sink or at least damage it so we destroy those aircraft on there. So let's see what we're gonna do here. All right, so that was the only combat over here. All right, so let's roll for our tech. And our tech is anti-submarine warfare, improved factories. What's that blue one gonna be? Let's go with advanced mech. So the blue dice will be the advanced mech. So we get, that's the only one we get is the advanced mech, which I don't have a chip down there for. So advanced mech goes up to 1. All right. Doubt if the game finishes before that. All right, so let's do some combat and let's start with the crazy one first over here in this sea zone here. So we've got 2 subs that get a first strike because there are no destroyer there. All right, so let's see what we get. We get a 1. So now I'm wishing I wouldn't have brought in that British fighter because that kills the Japanese planes. All right, so now the fighter gets to roll and it kills a plane. And it does. So we're going to assume that this tactical bomber would be the loss. So we'll throw that over there. So now let me look at what that carrier defends at. Because it's a first strike, I think it goes down 1, right? Yeah, so it defends at a 1 now because that was first strike. So here's the carrier at a 1. Here is the fighter at, or the tactical at a 4, and the fighter at a 6. Oh, nice. All right, so that means we will back up, and we had our choice of routes, so we would have come 1, 2. Well, no, actually, we would have came back here, wouldn't we? Because I didn't call what my route was before. That was bad on my part because I wanted to be in this sea zone here. Oh well. I have to come back where I started in 132. So this fighter is still there. This fighter will be destroyed because it cannot land on the damaged carrier. So that is the end of that. And I guess if there was an option where he wouldn't have brought his planes off that carrier, then I would have continued on with those 2 subs and I would have finished them off anyway. So that's what I had. I was trying to think earlier. I had another thing. On Celebes, I had 2 militia and he killed 1 with a bombard. So, but he only had the one militia on there, so I actually did have two. So they would get one roll at a 2, which it didn't matter. So now that battle is complete, and
You're gonna want to choose 2. Okay? 13.
you know what? I can stay in that battle and finish off that carrier. That seems like the right thing to do, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't think it'll.
So that plane isn't actually dead.
I don't think it'll work as a free for all because whoever's.
Because let me look at this here.
Well, but actually.
Because I can take.
You can capture all those ends, and you actually do get a lot. So do we want to try free for all?
I'd be fine with going in the middle if that's.
Yeah, because I can take the subs now as a hit.
Are you gonna go Goblin?
So yeah, let's risk it, shall we? So the first strike on that 2 subs was 3, so the carrier is officially gone now. And then the fighter at a 6 misses. So the Japanese fighter at a 6 hits. So we're going to lose this Anzac sub and retreat at that point. Thereby, same result, other than the damaged carrier is now gone as well. Alright, so didn't need that marker after all. Now we're officially cleared up with battles on this side of the board. Let's come over here and roll. I don't really have a good spot for that dice tray here.
So it's basically 11. So 11.
So I think I'll just have to keep moving it. Alright, so I'm going to need the attack sheet, or the attack battle board here for these bombards. So we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. So I'm going to have 2 battleships and a cruiser. Alright, so the yellow dice will be the battleship. They're bombarding at a, 4? And the heavy cruiser is a 2. So the yellow dice and the cruiser at a 2 gets a 1. So that battle is over. Peloponnese falls. It is worth nothing. But Canada gets the first foothold in Europe. Throw those in the bowl. All right, so the next bombard I've got, and I'll just roll these separate. I've got the battleship at a 4. Oh, all this elaborate planning, and I didn't need any of it, so he is gone. And that will be 1 up for Britain, so we'll move that while we're here because that's the only point value. So Germany goes down to 48, and Britain goes up to 24, at least on my board. All right, last battle. There is no bombardments, but we have the Devil's Brigade from Canada gets treated like a mountain, like a airborne, like a marine. So there is no negative bonus for being on the mountain or in a mountain zone. So this will attack at a 3. The 2 paratroopers get boosted to a 3, but lose 1 for the mountains. So they'll be at a 2. And then of course I have the fighter at a 6. So first up is the Devil's Brigade at a 3. And I got 2 paratroopers at 2s. And then we got a fighter at a 6. So nothing there. All right. Next up is the German defense at a 5. And he misses. All right. So now we're going to lower the paratroopers. Yeah. So the Devil's Brigade now attacks at a 2. The paratroopers are attacking at a 1. So here's the 2 paratroopers. They miss. The Devil's Brigade comes in at a 6. The fighter comes in at a 2. So the fighter gets in. All right. So the Germans defend at a 5. And they get a 6. You know what? Yeah, they are at a 5 because it's normally defense at 4, but they're in a mountain at 5. So 6 is a miss. So that goes to Britain, but no point value. All right. I believe that is all of my attacks. So let me get this tray out of the way. Somehow I got my dice out of whack for my tech, but anyway. All right, so you've looked at that long enough. Let's move these ships onto the task force marker, which is hanging out here in the Sahara Desert. And I'll go over what's on there as a recap here, coming up shortly. Where is it? Oh, there it is, the other heavy cruiser. All right, so that is all the ships in C-Zone 52. All right, so let's land some planes. So we've got these two fighters have 2 movements left. They will head back to the carriers that are in C-Zone 52. And it won't stay on there because I don't have a magnet. So since I don't have a magnet, let's land that plane on Crete. We'll take the plane from Macedonia, which does have a magnet. It doesn't have a magnet either. Oh well. All right, so this tactical bomber will land on Crete. The 2 strategic bombers will land on Crete. So there is all those landing. And I make a mess as I'm trying to do that. All right. So in Thessaly is 2 mountain men, 2 Marines, Peloponnese, a Marine, and infantry, and those are all Canadians. And in Macedonia is the Devil's Brigade and 2 paratroopers. All right, so combination assault on Germany in the Balkans by Russia, then the Commonwealth. All right, what other planes do we got to land? All right, so over here, we've got to land our MAP, our Maritime Air Patrol, so that seaplane will head back to the British Midlands along with that fighter. And we take these markers off. And I've got 4 fighters up there. I think we'll leave them there. We've got a Canadian medium bomber that'll move down to New York. And they'll take advantage of that air base if they need to. We'll leave that other medium bomber up in Canadian, what is that? Maritimes. All right. So what other movement do we have down here? Slide my stuff out of the way. We're gonna rail this Marine. I was gonna rail that Marine north because I expected to lose some Marines, but since I didn't, I'll still, well, now we'll leave them there. That movement is canceled. What other moves? I think that's all for over here. Yes, that would be it. All right, so heading over here, we've got a British fighter, which had went 1 out, so it has 4 movements left. I'm wondering if I should stay.
No. I've had my army on that side for a long
Stay and fight. Probably should.
And then you came in and
So we'll just land here in Borneo. And we've got this air transport in Sarawak, which can leave now that the carrier and planes are gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into Sydney. This air transport will pick up 1 infantry from Queensland, 1, 2, 3, and land in Borneo. All right. The sub that didn't take part of this battle will slide over 2 sea zones into 134 for any blocking maneuvers that are needed. We've got a motorized from Queensland driving down to South Wales. We got a militia. That militia is going to stay, isn't it? Yeah, because you can't get there. So this militia in Queensland, he'll stay. We've changed our mind in mid-game. All right, so I think that's it for the movements for the Commonwealth. I've got some French moves coming up. And that's it. So let's place some units, shall we? So let's grab these two ships, the destroyer and light cruiser. And we're going to grab this Marine because it's all going in South Africa. The minor shipyard with improved construction can now place two. So we've got two ships down there as we rebuild our fleet. All right, so we've got one more destroyer, and let's grab this guy from London. And they're going to head north. So let's go up here to London, drop off that paratrooper, and we'll place that destroyer in Sea Zone 24. What's left? We've got an infantry upgrade of a militia and two militia. Oh yeah, the airbase. So let's put the airbase here in Crete along with one of the militia. And over here, we're going to upgrade.
But you can put them.
No, that wasn't where we were going to upgrade. Where were we going to upgrade? Oh, we were going to upgrade the South African militia to an infantry. And then place another infantry or militia here in Java. Nope, not Java, Sumatra. All right, so. Is that where I had, I had in my mind, nope, that's not where I wanted to upgrade him. The upgrade was here in Aden, that's right. That's where we were upgrading the militia. All right, get with the program. All right, so as we look back over here, we've got this colonial infantry for FEC, and we'll make the march back here. And Sarawak is worth one, so we can build a colonial in Sarawak. All right, so that is that. As we crawl back over here, and we're going to grab all these ANZAC. An anti-aircraft gun, submarine, the upgrade. We're going to upgrade a militia and 3 militia for them. So let's, first off, we're going to take this militia off and upgrade him to an infantry. Then we're going to place a militia here in Borneo. So that leaves these 2 militia. The anti-aircraft gun has to go there. The sub has to go here where there's a shipyard in Sea Zone 146. And I've got 2 militia. I think I was just putting those in Sydney. Because I think I'm going to put 1 in Sydney and 1 in New Guinea. All right, so we'll just know that's a militia. I've run out of militia units for ANZAC. All right, that is it for ANZAC. The only thing left now is the Canadian fighter that was lend-leased to France. So they will fly or come out of this port here for a straight shot down to the port in Morocco and into what is their capital there. All right, so let's collect some income. So Britain spent all their money. FEC spent all their money. And ANZAC spent all but 1, so they saved 1. So there we go, we're clear. So let's look at the chart on the wall. 24 for Britain. They get +3 for Suez Canal. They're still rating subs on the British lines. Okay, so that is it for there. FEC, they have 1. And they still get that silly 2 bonus. So they have $3. And Anzac is up to 11. So there will be the 11 plus the one they saved. Now their bonus, I believe, is gone. Yeah, no enemy ships within 2 spaces of Australia. So that they don't get. So that is $12 for them.
5 minutes.
And let me think if I got that right. I think that's it. So that makes them, yeah. All right. Let's roll some dice, see where the magic takes us. And there's a 1 and a 4. So $5. Trying to think about Anzac. And I think we'll put 2 in Anzac and then the other 3 here in Britain. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll get rid of those. It's easier to count. So Britain is at $30, FEC at 3, and 14 for Anzac. Let's look here at Canada. They spent all their money. Their income is 6, but there are no, yeah, all their bonuses are still there, so they will have $9. France, oh, it's France's turn. Let's do their turn right now, shall we? They have no attacks, but they will move this sub out of C-Zone 79. 1, 2, 3 into 52, so it'll join the card. And then we were taking 2 fighters from this air base in northern Algeria. 1, 2, 3. And that will give us our 3-plane scramble. Oh, but you know what? I have radar, so I can scramble 4 planes. So we'll take all the planes. The newly lend-leased one over there as well. So now I can scramble 4 fighters. So that'll be good, right? All right, what other French moves do we have? That's it. So let's place our goods. We've got a air transport going into Canada. And it doesn't really matter where it goes. And then we've got the French cavalry that we're going to put down here in Chad. And my battery is getting closer to being done.
Oh, wait, hold on.
That's it. All right, so France, their money is 5. And they will be heading on to the next turn. I did want to do a recap of the task force marker here in C-Zone 52. It is 3 battleships, 1 battle cruiser, 1 French sub, 2 light carriers with 2 fighters, 1 sub, 2 torpedo boat destroyers, 2 destroyers, 1 corvette, 1 light cruiser, 2 heavy cruisers, 3 transports. And then on Crete is a militia, 4 fighters, tactical, 2 strategic bombers, and a newly purchased airbase. And that should be it for Britain. All right, next up will be Concentric Cal for Italy. I don't anticipate them going to war, but you just never know.